That was heavy.
Me, baby.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Good Morning Gazzetta, the show that goes through all the biggest stories from around Europe. But the biggest one today obviously concerns my club, and that is Chelsea Football Club getting to the next round of the Champions League. And as you can tell, I had a bit of a heavy one. Yeah, not gonna lie, it was, I celebrated a bit too hard last night, and it's safe to say that I'm feeling the effects this morning. So if you would like to, I'd really appreciate the subscribe button down below and notification bell. That would really help me with my hangover. Also, drop a like on the video as well if you are new around here and if you enjoyed it. And obviously, make sure that you hit me up on socials that come up on the screen right now. But let's just get straight into the news. I'm gassed to do this one. This is brilliant. Chelsea into their first Champions League semi-final for 7 years, and now holding the record for most appearances in the Champions League semi-finals from an English club. 8. Chelsea have no history, they say. Chelsea don't have this. Chelsea don't have that. Well, guess what? We've got more appearances than all of you. So, yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. But we'll get straight into it. And this one is for the first page. Oh, I just love reading it. I'm going to be keeping this paper. This comes in from the Daily Telegraph, and it says, assured Chelsea drain relief from Porto. Oh, hang on, drain belief, sorry, from Porto to reach the Champions League last four. And I'll show you the picture. You got that, and then that's the picture. Just that is a brilliant picture. Not as good as that one though. Back page of the Telegraph. That is. I'm keeping this. I wouldn't keep every paper, but that's a big one for me. That is Chelsea. Look, if we look at the performance overall, I think that Chelsea. It was apart from a worldie, which, to be fair, I mean, when it went in, I kind of just looked at it and went, yeah, fair enough. That's actually quite a good goal. When it went in, you kind of had the sense that, you know, apart from that, it was a fairly assured performance. It was just what we needed, to be honest. There wasn't anything special going on. I was sat in Vauxhall, obviously where we record the podcast, and me and Mooch were kind of watching it, just nothing really going on. But we kind of positioned ourselves wrong, because there was two screens in Vauxhall. You had one at one end, which was showing the Chelsea game, and one was showing the PSG Bayern game. And we were sat underneath it, so we couldn't actually see what was going on. So apparently that was quite a good game. But yeah, I was slightly focused on Chelsea. I mean, look, overall, great job from us. Obviously, the coach of the Porto team came out and said that Thomas Tuchel apparently offended him, but he has form of doing that in the past. And he said the same about Pep Guardiola. So, can I be honest? By the sound of things, he's just a sore loser. As were all the Porto fans that were in my DMs yesterday, and all the ones that are on my comments. Lads, where are you now? Where are you now? Come talk to me. You know, I'm here. I'm here. Let's have a conversation. But, look, overall, great performance from Chelsea. Christian Pulisic, for me, obviously, you know, I was very worried about him yesterday, but he came through and he played really well. He's still fit, but you know how a player's good. And they say this is just the case. It happens in non-league where people just get sliced down. No. Top of the game. If you know a player is very, very good, when the only way a team tried to stop them is by kicking 7 shades of shit out of them. And Christian Pulisic had about 1,050.6 billion kicks to his head, to his body, to everything. He came out smiling. Man of the match as well, which was absolutely fantastic. But Chelsea progress into the Champions League semi-finals and are set to face either Real Madrid or Liverpool. And Klopp has come out in the papers and he has said that Liverpool need to show the real Liverpool if they want to get to the next round of the Champions League. He says he insists a comeback is on if the players do exactly that, you know, right there like that. But and obviously there's other cerebral cover there as well. But look, Real Madrid are the favourites for the tie if we're going to look at it, and we're going to be brutally honest. We look at how they've approached it all, how they've been playing recently, obviously winning El Clasico at the weekend as well, and a very assured performance from the Los Blancos. But look, I think that, you know, overall it looks like they'll be progressing. Liverpool haven't really hit the ground running, I think, over the past few months. And, this season they obviously haven't been as good as they have been for the previous 2 or 3. And it seems that all their good performances and the energy that they used has caught up with them. So potentially we could be seeing Liverpool either trounced or it would just be a convincing win for Real. However, on the other side of the coin with that, as a as a Chelsea fan, it might come across as a bit biased. I don't mean it to. I personally have never experienced a good atmosphere at Anfield, ever. I'm not going to sit here and just say it's because of the games or because it's just a Big Six club. You can say the same, really. In league football, I've gone to every single top 6 ground, apart from the new Tottenham Stadium. And I've not experienced one single good atmosphere, really, apart from the away fans, there at all. You go to Liverpool, they talk about the cop and you never walk alone and that sort of stuff. Literally, you had that at the beginning, being called a rent boy, and then after that, nothing. So look, that's my experience of Anfield. However, that's very popular. However, having said that, obviously, European nights could be different. And obviously, you've seen that in the past. Liverpool coming back against Barcelona, Liverpool coming back against Dortmund in the Europa League. Liverpool, obviously, the ghost goal. Liverpool just doing really well in these occasions, which are remembered throughout footballing history. But is it going to be the same atmosphere with no fans at Anfield now? No, probably not. So it's going to be a really interesting game, and Liverpool basically just got to turn up and make sure they get the job done. But you'd be stupid to write them off in a European game. Liverpool have obviously a lot of a reputation for coming back. So let's see what happens with that. It'll be very, very interesting. Obviously, the other tie is Dortmund versus Manchester City. And Gundogan's come out and he said that City must embrace the struggle in Europe. So obviously, if we're going through that, he says that midfielder, they've not coped well with setbacks in the past, and the task against Dortmund will be helped by the lack of the yellow wall. So obviously, as we said with Liverpool, Dortmund are renowned for their atmosphere, and it's not going to be there this year. And to be honest, the game was a lot tighter than I think many people anticipated in the previous leg. And let's be honest, Manchester City were very fortunate, and Jude Bellingham was not. However, if we go through it and we look at it, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I think that realistically, I think if they're going to do the quadruple ever, it's going to be this year. And to be honest, Manchester City have to win the Champions League under Pep Guardiola, otherwise they failed. That's my opinion anyway. The target was always to win the Champions League, and they haven't done that yet. This year is probably better than any to try and do it. Obviously, they could be facing a strong PSG side, where this year they seem to have finally gelled and it seems to all be going the right way for them. And they could be facing a side like in PSG's calibre, which could be more difficult in the next round. But they already had to get past Dortmund, obviously, with the world's hottest prospect apart from Mbappe playing for that Dortmund side. And it's a very well-drilled team, very solid side. Obviously, they've not shown it in the league this year, but realistically, in terms of what they've been doing in the Champions League, they've looked relatively solid. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they cope with it. But I'm going to be watching that game, I think, instead of the Liverpool game. I might have both on the screens, and I might even do a watch-along. Who knows? We'll figure it out. I'm going to talk to Liam, see what we can do with that. But it's going to be a very, very interesting game. But we've gone through Chelsea, we've done a Champions League preview, obviously talked briefly about the PSG Bayern game and PSG finally proving their worth. We're going to head across now to other bits that we found and some very interesting stories coming out of the gossip columns this morning. And one of which I wanted to go in depth about was actually about Sarri potentially going to Tottenham Hotspur. Now, there's been talk from Rai Sport, obviously the equivalent of the BBC in Italy, that Maurizio Sarri is now being targeted by Tottenham Hotspur to replace, obviously, Jose Mourinho, who, as we spoke about a couple of days ago, seems to potentially be past it, really, if we're going to talk about it. He's not the same manager he was, but they're looking to bring in Sarri, obviously, to reinvent Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I put this out in a tweet earlier today, and I was saying that Maurizio Sarri, when it comes to top clubs, and I'm talking, the likes of Chelsea and Juve, which he's been at, he's struggled. There's obviously been a certain level of success required, and he hasn't delivered on any of those levels of success at Chelsea or at Juve. Now, people might argue that he did do that at Chelsea. Obviously, he did win the Europa League. I'm not sitting here saying he didn't deliver at all. I think he did what he was asked of in his first year, but the project which he was looking to implement clearly wasn't working because of the success culture and the need to win, the continuity, and obviously lots of other things and other elements to it, which is why he didn't succeed at Chelsea. The same case with Juventus. Obviously, just the culture of needing to have success wasn't the right move. However, when you look at clubs he's been successful at, and now I'm talking Empoli, I'm talking Napoli, he has delivered on those fronts. Now, if you're looking at Napoli, it's not a club which is renowned for its success in recent years. They've always been a club which have been good, but not quite there. He took them to another level because he was able to implement a philosophy, implement a style, and push it forward. And they became one of the most exciting sides in Europe to watch because he had the time to develop those projects. Now, I'm going to be very blunt. Wasn't a fan of Sarri at Chelsea. I didn't think he was the right fit. He might have been the right guy at the wrong time. Some people might argue that. Some people just simply love him. Obviously, there's a big row continuing on Chelsea Twitter all the time about Sarri, Lampard, and obviously people seem to have simmered down now that Thomas Tuchel's come in and is doing a fantastic job. But I think if you're looking at Empoli, where he was able to build a style and build a philosophy, you look at Napoli, was able to build a style and build a philosophy. Tottenham Hotspur as a club are not winning things. They aren't as good as people make them out to be half the time. Mourinho, as we were saying, was brought in to bring in that culture of winning, bring in that culture of just being bastards, as he likes to say. And it hasn't worked out purely because the culture of the club and the culture of how they operate is running so deep in terms of, if I'm honest, this Mr. Nice Guy bottling mentality, which is so deep within the club, that Mourinho and the club have just done that. It just hasn't worked. Mauricio Sarri as a coach is someone who I think just focuses more on the football. And I think if he brings attractive football to Tottenham, I think they have the players to do so. I think they have the calibre of talent. I think they've got the facilities, obviously. Daniel Levy has turned them basically having all the tools to potentially be a league-winning side, but they just don't have the right style of football. Now, like I was saying the other day, maybe there's a middleman, and maybe Sarri could be that guy to sort of bring in a nice style of football, but not quite take them to that next level after Pochettino did. And then you could have a Mourinho-esque figure come through for Tottenham as someone who's a winner, who wants to play attractive football. And then maybe it all just comes together and they might actually start winning things, which I dread to see as a Chelsea fan. But that is what I think could work. And I think Sarri to Spurs is someone who is definitely a manager that could fit, and it could work for him because it's a club which isn't there. It's not there yet. It's someone that they just need that drive and that philosophy implemented, and just they've got a blank canvas, really, if we're talking in terms of what they are doing and like their playing style and how they operate. It's not quite there, if you know what I mean. I just think it would work really well. But, let me know your thoughts. Would Sarri to Spurs be a good fit for him? The other talk is obviously come through the Express, so with a pinch of salt, but they're reporting that potentially Nuno could be the man to replace his former coach at Tottenham. Now, obviously at Wolves, it's slowly starting to simmer down, not really working out for them as it has done in the past. Obviously, they've been fantastic over the previous few years since coming up to the Premier League, but now it seems to have slowed down quite a lot. And it's an interesting concept in the shape that they've got, but Nuno and the club seem to just come to loggerheads, and it seems to not be working out anymore. Is he a man that could go to a bigger club and do it? Maybe. Obviously, he was at Valencia previously. It worked out okay there, but it wasn't quite what he wanted. But, he's coming through to maybe make a difference at a high level. I think he's obviously a coach which is very, very good. He took Wolves to European football. He's pushed them through. They've done okay, but he wants to have a new challenge by the looks of things, and maybe that could be Tottenham Hotspur. But, I mean, if you're a Tottenham fan, who would you prefer? Sarri or Nuno? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But we'll move on to our last couple of stories. Again, another Tottenham one is Harry Kane basically saying he's going to stay in England, according to The Independent, and he's either going to go to Manchester United or Manchester City. We've addressed that in the past. I don't really know. It's probably going to be a Man City move. I think that works better for him, to be honest. And I think he'll be winning more things there. And that's what a player of his calibre should be doing, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, which is better. And the final story comes in from Calcio Mercato, which is saying that apparently a Ronaldo return could be on the cards to Manchester United in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. It doesn't make any sense. I think we'll leave it at that. He's 36, coming to the twilight of his career. He's still a good player, no doubt about it. But, is he someone who's going to drag Manchester United kicking and screaming to the next level? Not really. It doesn't make any sense. Paul Pogba, not really being the Paul Pogba that you see for France, who saw at Juventus previously, at Manchester United. So it's not really worked out for him, but we'll have to see what happens there. I don't think it makes any sense. I think it's a load of rubbish. But it's a story which I thought was very interesting to report. Would it be a right move, yes or no? Not really, in my opinion. But I can see there might be some benefits in terms of bringing a player of Ronaldo's calibre back to Old Trafford. But it is very much he's in the twilight of his career. He is slowing down. Is it the right idea to pay someone such high wages who's not going to be there for much longer? No, not really, but it would be a very Manchester United thing to happen. But obviously that is it for Gazzetta this morning. Well, this afternoon, actually, because it's coming out after 12 again. I need to start getting it back out. It's going to be coming back out mid-morning. I've been mental the past few days, so, you know, bear with me. It is going to start coming out again more regularly in the morning. But yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed it, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you never miss a single video here on the Louis Beneventi channel. And obviously, please do make sure that you hit me up on socials as well so you never miss anything else. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourself, guys, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.